2, 1.
Blast off! Good evening, folks. Red County, Blue Nation, Custer County, Colorado, little town of Westcliff, Custer County, Colorado, the great state of Americans. Stephen Rorick, Mike Boring on the console, James McMahon in the co-pilot seat, and our special guest tonight, Charlie Olson. Charlie, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm great. Good to be here. Thanks for the advance notice.
Around here, all 2 or 3 seconds is all you need, right?
11 minutes.
Let's rip.
11 minutes. Charlie, can you show up? We appreciate you being here. Another solid community person is Charlie Ellison. A lot of stuff behind the scenes. Very few people know how really salty, and thank you. I just appreciate you. Big time.
Yeah, I haven't had a shower in a while. I'm definitely salty. Been a few days.
But anyways, he does a lot of good stuff for, he's some of the glue that holds community together. That's all I'll say. He's absolutely a blessing. Big time.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah,
Double glad.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, so Taylor couldn't come with us tonight, folks. He had some stuff come up with his wife. They have a will to take care of, but he assured us he'd come on next week with the report. But we're wanting to talk about this whole lodging tax. And Charlie, from my understanding, you kind of have an inside scoop on all that. I mean, you've kind of been working with the whole tourism board and all that stuff for a while. So if you could tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so winding the clock back in 2011, Custer County ran an initiative to add 2% to lodging. And that it's kind of like a sales tax, but it's a whole different fund. And at that time, the legislature said it could only be used for marketing and advertising for tourism. And so its primary use is to get people here. And then over the years, that's evolved both the focus of the tourism board to have a little bit more of a focus. The term that they like to use is creating experience. Creating experience for the people that come here works great for when someone's here. But if they don't know where Custer County is, they'll never be here.
Right.
And so this has been a very gradual thing that's been going on over the years. And then the state legislature have also seen that there's a nice pile of money coming through here. And of course, many ills of every town could be blamed on tourists, right?
Well, so let me ask you this. So in 2011, when you're talking about this whole thing kind of kicked off, was that statewide, and so every county had that 2% tax?
Basically, the legislature gave everyone the option to do it.
So it's an option.
Yes.
Got it.
And so then
Got
it was referred to a local ballot question, and that was approved. And there was a card that I have, the original graphics. It was a pretty big card that went out and just saying, hey, you don't have to pay this tax, and it's only 2%. It'll always be 2% to be used only for advertising and marketing to get people to come to Custer County.
I see.
And there was a little bit of carve out. Like one part I really did like actually is to have about 10% set aside, but still at the option of the tourism board, to have grants with people like Jones Theater or the airport or something that we felt would bring people in. And I really like that, because then you get some diversity of ideas and different approaches, and then you've got more people doing marketing for the board.
So what's your opinion, Charlie, from 2011 kind of coming up till now? Do you think that it was a pretty successful type of a deal, or?
I do think so, yeah. I mean, it's hard to measure if it wasn't there, what kind of traffic would we have? But I do think it was pretty successful. And, the work that the tourism board has, the quality of the content on the website has gone up over the years. It's, a lot of real pretty pictures. So it makes Westcliff, the Wet Mountain Valley, look bigger than it is.
I see.
If you want people to come visit. But,
Well, and that's kind of their job, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that amounted to quite a bit of money. I mean, it's somewhere between 80 and 100,000 a year revenue, isn't it?
It peaked in 2023. I think it was right around $120,000. So 2020 was kind of a bad year, but then 2022 started. Everybody started getting in their cars and traveling again.
After COVID.
Yeah, so we really and everybody wanted to get from the cities to a rural area, so it's pretty popular, but it has been decreasing. Quite frankly, it's been decreasing since the tourism board quit buying what they call paid advertising. In other words, Google AdWords, paid social media. Most of the marketing they do is what they refer to as organic, which is if you know who we are and you're engaged with us and you're on our beautiful website, then you're in our little fishbowl here, and you know about us, and that works real well and it looks real good. But the problem is we're not adding more fish to the pond. I mean, we certainly are, because there's this great good PR. You get a lot of leverage out of public relations, and when people travel writers come in and see the town and they get excited and put an article in a magazine in Texas, and that brings a lot of people. So there's a lot of leverage out of PR dollars, and that's been effective. But my concern is that more and more of the money is towards experience, like taking over some of the functions that do you remember the organization CART?
I do remember that. I can't remember real explicitly just what it was, but I do remember the acronym of it.
Yeah, so CART was an organization. I can't remember what it stood for, but they created a little pamphlet, and it was to let everyone, or just to kind of promote the town and what kind of business was here. And so they print a few thousand of these brochures, and they distribute them at all the visitor centers around the state of Colorado. So if you're coming in from Kansas and you pull over to the visitor center, you'll pull out that brochure. But quite frankly, that was a definite case of 1980s marketing brochure sort of thing.
Absolutely.
As opposed to current marketing, which
Non-effective.
it's Thanksgiving. We've decided we want to go to Colorado or Wyoming, so let's go search. Where's a cool place to go? What do we want to do?
So that's where the word searches and being computer exposed to the computer in the web, where that brings us into 2020
Yeah.
and beyond, as opposed to a flyer and then.
Absolutely. I remember in the very early days of Google advertising, you could get a lot out of non-paid advertising, but anymore, anything you do is search. If you're not paying, you're not at the table. That's just the way it is. There's very, very little traffic that's generated just by someone going in and saying, Westcliff. It's just all kinds of paid advertising. If you're not on page one, you're not going to be seen.
Yeah. I mean, anybody can relate to that. I mean, who gets on the web these days and tries to Google something and then searches 2 to 3 pages down, right?
Well, the first thing you do is you punch page 20. Go to page 20. Let's see who's over here. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I should.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah,
but
we
I
know
know
we
we're on page 1 or 2.
Yeah, we know we should, but we just don't,
We
right?
don't. It's like, those are probably the good guys down there.
So at the end of the day, it still comes down to wisdom, being smart about money spent, but not using the money in a futile or an what would you say, ear-tagged way. I remember years ago, ear tag. Oh, you can't ear tag that for nothing. And the Dems, in the Liberals, they're all about ear tagging everything now.
I don't know what that really means, ear tag.
Well, here the money came in. We're gonna put it for this deal. We
Like earmark, yeah.
yeah, we earmarked it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here again, the libs. I watched these people mature. Whether it was the radio station or Club America, I watched how they've taken us over. I know who built the radio station, and I know who built the swimming pool. I also know who runs both of those now. We build it and they take it over.
Yep.
And you people need to wise up to what's going on because you're asleep at the wheel. So anyways, we're going to stay focused on this one task.
Well, and so it really is a complex conversation. So if you would, Charlie, maybe, okay, happened in 2011, kind of progressed, around 2020, 2023, you said maybe was the most dollars.
Yep.
So how has that progressed and what's going on now? I mean, why? Evidently, it's some legislative action that has taken place to allow this tax to be increased and then used for other things besides just tourism advertisement.
You have some of the worst case scenarios or the biggest screaming counties, however you want to describe it, such as Summit County. All right, and it said, no one who lives here or that works can afford to stay here. And there's some legitimacy to that. There's some concern. So rather than let market come up with solutions, people that like to get into government think they're smarter than everyone else, so they're going to decide what to do. So there's been a number of legislative approaches to how to tap the tourist traffic and get more money for what I call wishful spending. So the way I look at it, been thinking about how to summarize it. I see the tourism fund as the gateway drug to wishful spending.
Yes. No, and absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
That's quite a colorful.
Yeah, but that's the shortest words to get the most explanation on really what's going on here. Is the state's running out of money, county's running out of money. Where can we go to get more money?
Yes.
And then how can we prop up the weak people of the community?
And not to cut you off there, but let's get more money and let's just spend it any way we want.
Exactly. And so HB 1247 was passed in the last legislature. And basically what it said is, hey, you could triple the tourism tax up to 16%. It has to be referred to the county voters, and 2% for affordable housing and 2% for subsidizing childcare. But it also says, or anything else, infrastructure or whatever you want.
So them two things, the affordable housing and the child care, was that come from the state or would that come from local?
Well, that it's kind of a combination. So essentially, the state says, all right, you could triple it, and these are the things kind of recommend. But there's also some language in that says and other infrastructure.
And
As far as I know, that includes just about anything you want to throw into the bathtub.
So Jimmy's boy Billy Bob Biden, he didn't just make that up. That kind of come down from the trickle down.
Yep. That's a good phrase to say. We're going to spend it however we need. The smart
So here again, all the COVID money came through when the COVID money came through, right?
Yeah.
It was
Where did it go?
for essential
Infrastructure.
people that were essential. Well, me being a plumber, an electrician, a handyman, a cattle guy, I was not essential.
No, you're just making
I'm a throwaway
food.
guy. I'm just throwaway guy.
Keeping people
I'm just
warm.
a throwaway.
Well,
But a county guy, a commissioner, and the bookkeeper and all the people in the county, they were essential. So this is part of that cover up on where all that money went into the county employees. Not to get sidetracked, but I'm just saying the abuse of our tax money. This is just another example of, well, these guys are making so much money. We as a government, we got to get part of that, and we got to start using it to look like we're God.
Well, and the way that I was reading the tea leaves, because I was watching
Tea leaves. I love it. I love it.
the BLCC meetings after the fact, And it seemed like, well, one county commissioner wants roads, nothing wrong with roads, and one wants to help the children, and the other wants affordable housing. So it's like, woohoo, let's all vote for it. So, and that was like, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Not much time to get
Not,
organized.
not a lot to get your feet underneath you.
No, it's hard to.
So do you know enough about Charlie? So that's going to go to the vote in November to see if if the people want to raise that tax. Is that the way that works?
It will indeed.
And,
So
and,
we
and I
need
would I would say if we collect too much money in this endeavor to bring the tourism here, go ahead and rebate it back. If we don't need it, if we've got such a windfall and we do such a good job advertising and we have everybody's packed out, you know what I mean? All the Airbnbs, the motels and things, rebate the people their money back. Get some money back. Somewhere along the line.
You've been
Say-
smoking something? Or
Yeah, I know. Smoking and drinking. Anyway, yeah, I mean, and
Fantasy land.
yeah. So at the end of the day, I live in a here again. They got their wishful thinking, and I got mine, and we're at combat here. There's a combat zone here. It's like, wait a minute. If we do the search engine good and we draw enough people here and we wisely use a few bucks, as opposed to creating Deb Adams a job. I did so. Look at the pictures I did, you guys. Look at what I did, little Debbie. Look at what I did. I want a job. I think I need to get paid. Bullshit, Debbie. We don't need to create more government. Okay, that's just me. That's nobody. I was at the meeting and I watched her beg for a job, and I was like, really? You're a
Well-
photographer. Ain't you making a good enough living?
Oh, isn't county the largest employer in this?
Here again,
Is it not?
It is.
we have got to look at this thing in the big picture and look at what our forefathers, why would they created this republic? Taxes was the incentive. The government taking your money and using it against you was the oppression why this country was founded, and it was built the way that it is. That's why we have the First Amendment to say stop it, and the Second Amendment is if you don't stop it, this is what we're going to do. That's basically what it
Yep,
comes.
yep,
I just
yep,
boil it down
yep.
to simple. And with the UN speech that Donald Trump gave, I mean, there was that was some come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah.
So here again, we're having a come to Jesus meeting saying, look, don't take, because I know how hard you work, and I know that the tourism thing, it's a big deal to bring people here and to try to get them to spend their money here. And you've done it very well.
Well,
I mean,
so-
just as in the private sector.
Yeah, so with that
Not
being
back
said,
off.
Charlie, can you earlier we were talking a little bit about how, and if I heard you right, that you thought that the tourism has actually declined.
Absolutely.
Can you explain that a little?
Well, so compared to the end of 2023, 2024 was down about, I think it was 16%. And then it's gone down another, no, it was 13%. It's gone another 7% in the first 7 months of the year.
Of 2025.
And
So we're down 20% since
roughly
2023.
20, probably 19-20% down. So the trend is down. And then it was really interesting to listen to the BOCC meeting debating this. People were giving their feelings about whether or not an increase of 4% taxes would reduce the traffic here. And the feelings was, well, I don't feel that 4% on $100 would be a big deal. But there wasn't anyone applying any math or anyone who understood
Logic. It was all about
or
feelings.
anyone that knew anything about the price elasticity of discretionary travel. So I wrote up. I did some research using really it was links through the Colorado Department of Office of Tourism, and they have an annual report on the economic studies. And believe it or not, tourism produces I didn't bring my notes here, but I think it's $45 million of economic impact based upon the ratios that the reports of the tourism, state of tourism,
Well,
tourism's office
It-
produces.
it's not that you're renting just, but you're buying gas, you're
Yeah,
buying food,
absolutely.
you're visiting the different shops. So the
Absolutely.
recycling of the money and bringing that new money into a small community is so vital in the 4 months of summer that we have here,
Yep,
that you
yep.
have to hit while the iron's
Yeah,
hot.
the multiplier effect for rural counties.
Multiplier, yes.
Is 5.7. So if someone spends $1,000 on accommodation, they're spending $5,700 on everything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even if it's someone who is bidding their accommodations in another county, but they spend a couple days here, we're getting those dollars. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're being spent here. So,
But it's regional.
yeah, yeah.
At least it's the region. But not only that, but when they come here, then they go, we're going to build a retirement home. So then you have that residual effect. Once you start doing the compound, when you introduce people into Custer County, if you don't have a big picture mind, if you don't understand what's going on, you can't make good decisions. If you're going low income housing,
Well, that's the reason I think we have a monumental challenge ahead to defeat this, because those people that don't want tourism because they want it to keep it forever, they should vote for this.
absolutely.
Because it's going to raise the price, it will reduce the number of people that come here, it will shut down restaurants, but it could go to the point, once you get a negative spiral going,
Absolutely.
where maybe we don't have a grocery store.
Well, there you go.
Or maybe we don't have but one restaurant that's open during the winter without the $45 million economic impact of the tourists that
Absolutely.
comes through here.
So we have to look at the yin and the yang. We got to look at the both sides of it. And my deal is we need to be aggressive in the economic climate that we're going into and that we're in right now. We need to bring as many people here as we possibly can. You don't have to come here and live or stay. But man, we do need you to come here and experience our beautiful, beautiful county.
That, and there's been a lot of criticism about the evil capitalists that invest in a property so people can stay here for a week. But you know what? If people want to come here and they have a lot of money, well, they have the option of spending money for a week. But if they don't have that option because everybody pulls out, then they're going to build.
They're going to build.
And so we have how many more domestic wells going per 5 acres taking up the watershed, you know? So it's the way I look at it is that the vacation rental properties, the short-term rental business is like a pressure relief valve. Those people
Yes.
that want to be here no matter what. Well, wait a minute. You just come here. It's a lot cheaper to rent for a couple of weeks than to build a $500,000 property.
Well,
for your
the
vacation stay.
the construction is expensive. Finding a good well is good. I mean, it's a big deal. City water, I don't know if I want anything to do with city water up here, but at the end of the day, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not all that good, in my opinion, but it's a lot better than some places.
Absolutely.
Which, and speaking of water rights, so I have some friends, and they have a quandary down in Fremont County. So they have a pretty nice resort down there, and they have a nice golf course. Well, the town of Canyon has decided that they want to triple their water cost. And so to triple their water cost to water the golf course will almost put them out of business. They service 27,000 people through there a year. And so the town of Canyon is wanting to raise their water bill, but it's like, don't you understand how much business that we bring to the table?
That's my criticism of most leftist policies. They identify a big problem, and then they put a number of a tax or whatever it might be for their solution. But it's a static analysis.
Static analysis. That's
so-
got to
so-
be harped on.
Yep. So what I have done, and it's something that I sent to the BOCC members, our Republican commissioners that voted to take this to the ballot,
People.
Or rhino commissioners?
is that
Call me
that's
commissioner.
your. You didn't say that.
Oh, but I did. See, I'm gonna buy me a rhino commissioner. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Our
We love you,
our
George
rhinos
Gramlich,
are better than
in
other
heaven.
rhinos. Our rhinos are much better. But
We got the best rhinos.
so they take what the revenue was last year and they multiply it by 6 and assume that the demand won't drop when they raise the prices. But when you look at it and you look at this the price elasticity of demand that says for every point that the price goes up, you will reduce demand by
You have
1.5-ish to 1.9%.
You have diminished. Yeah.
So what happens now is that the total revenue goes down. So not only do you lose the lodging tax, you also lose the sales tax.
All the residual.
So I've done an analysis on this based upon hard researches, that I found through going through the Colorado tourism offices and the studies that they cite, and the net increase when you look at the total of lodging tax and sales tax, the net increase to this scheme is $70,000 because sales tax is going to go down because revenue is down. Going to be interesting, isn't it?
Well, consequences are the only things that most people don't understand. When you're in business for yourself, that's the key thing you're always looking at is consequences.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie. So what you're saying is after all that said and done net, so instead of being like 120,000 in 2023, we're looking at 70,000,
Yep.
even though we've increased the tax.
Right. I think it came out to you'd have about a 6% reduction in demand, and that's going to mean 6% less lodging tax and 6% less sales tax, county and city. And so that adds up to a lot of bucks.
Absolutely. It's a big multiplier. It's either multiplying backwards or positive. It's either really negative, or you get positive. And when you have
That's the whole thing about multiplication. Hopefully you're on the front side.
hopefully you're duplicating.
Hopefully you're not going into the hole.
Well, and that's the things that we have to look at. Anytime the government gets involved in something, the administration fees and the costs and the absurdity is a huge depletion in the efficiency of where it should be. The person that has skin in the game is going to be thinking a lot harder, working a lot harder, and creating and adapting. Just like you've done your research, you know what it's going to take in order to be competitive against other counties and across the nation. Bringing people here to Custer County and to accommodating them for a few days or a week or something. You damn right. You got skin in the game. Your ass is in it. You're like, hey, woo ha, did he ha. The government's going, well, you're Charlie. You're making a little extra money. We're gonna take it from you. We're gonna get a little something from you now.
Good old-fashioned
Come on now. Good old-fashioned communism.
Very kind communism. So,
Communism.
So I'll tell you about.
You gonna get animated?
About 2 months ago.
Amen. I love it.
About 2 months ago, I went before the tourism board, and one of the commissioners was there, and I just wanted to speak about it. And I'm going to ask the tourism board to endorse a no vote. So we'll see. But in that process, I said, marketing is about finding a unique position, and one of the discussions. One of the arguments for this is everyone else is doing it. Well, if everyone else is doing it, it's kind of like, well, they're jumping off a cliff in my mind. But why not create a whole different market space? Because you know what? I hear people in town and they're saying, my goodness, I can't believe I have to pay 9.9 sales tax, and that's a lot. Why? What is there? How do you? I'm not getting a good deal on 10% sales and lodging tax. So why not be so there are, and there are also conservative states nearby that like this area that don't like the political policies of our state. I remember some guy saying, you know what, told my wife we're never going to go to Colorado again because of all this leftist stuff from Denver. But then she convinced me that Westcliff is a little different. I read your listing and realized, hey, I think this might be a good area for us because this sounds more like us. But it kind of you add 10% tax. There are a certain number of people that just like, this is ridiculous, and what am I getting for it? It's not like we have a zoo like Colorado Springs or something like that. So why not stake out a unique position, saying we're the low tax free county. Come to Custer County. Don't go to whatever, because Alamosa County, that's where I grew up, and not only will they vote on this 6%, but they also have a special taxing district to add another 4 or 5%. So they're getting like 20% or more. And so the people that are advocating for this is a lot of counties are even jacking it up with special districts. Why not be the one county and create a brand of low tax, free state, free county? I think we'll attract more people that way than going along with the herd.
And one of the I'm involved in the community pretty heavily. I'm in a lot of high, low, middle, everywhere. I'm all over it. One of the things that I'm watching is younger people that have young families that can work from home are coming here.
Oh yeah.
They're selling in Metro. They're going, whoop, we're going to Custer.
Yeah, can you spell Starlink?
And there's, can you spell Starlink? Absolutely. So here again, we need to be thinking about what is accommodating and who are we drawing here. Strong individuals make a strong community. Weak individuals make a weak community. We need a strong community. We need strong individuals. These people carry their own water. That's the direction we need to go as Custer County. Number one, it's a harsh winter up here. We don't have a Walmart. We don't have all this other accommodations. It takes a unique individual to live here, first and foremost.
Yep.
And that's what we're drawing.
Right. And I think we can draw that better by saying we're not going to go along with the herd. And so one approach might be, and I said this in front of the tourism board and that just about had a conniption, but I said, why not go the next step? Why don't those of us in this industry, Main Street plus the short time rent, why don't we nix the tourism board and not the board necessarily, but the whole tax altogether? Let's go the other direction.
Let's go the other direction.
And if you have a way to make money, then you should contribute to it, kind of like the way Chamber of Commerce used to be.
Oh, when common sense was on the planet?
Yeah, where if you want to contribute to the business community, you contribute to the Chamber of Commerce.
But it also contributed to yourself.
Well, and that's what we were talking about last week too, is okay, if I have a pretty successful business and I understand marketing, why wouldn't I want to use my own dollars to promote my own advertising to draw business to my own business instead of giving it to Deb Adams to try to get a salary off of?
Exactly. And let business people make those decisions instead of bureaucrats, and then we'll spend money more wisely.
You
100%.
absolutely.
Are you hearing that, folks? I mean, that's straight from the cat's mouth here.
Anybody that's got, whenever you have skin in the game, your heart's established, and ideas come, and your tenacity arises, and you have that will of going, yeah, I'm going to have to do this. Needs to happen. When you're the government guy, it's easy money, and you don't have to get pressed down and pushed down, and you know what I mean?
That and I look at it, the way I describe it is what's being done now is for appearance, not results.
So here again,
I would agree with that.
politicians are all about appearance and bullshitting people. Oh, it looks and good and smells good, but at the end of the day, the results are just catastrophic. catastrophe.
And then that's what people, that's also people that don't really understand business. That's also what they're after. It's like, it sounds good and it might look good on whatever you're thinking about on paper, but it doesn't necessarily, at the end of the day, ring true with professional business.
Or where the tread hits the pavement in the day-to-day life. The day-to-day life and where the tread hits the pavement is what we've been doing. You and I, Charlie. That's where the dollars exchange hands. Where the dollars exchange from one person to another person. The government needs you to stay out of that.
Well, and I have a little story that will help illustrate this. So I started complaining about the fact that the tourism board was no longer spending money on paid ads such as Google AdWords. That's someone saying, "Where's a cool place to go?" Okay.
Which you know, because you have skin in the game, is a very effective way
It's
for marketing,
the only
and is the
way.
only way.
It's the only way
Instead of,
information.
I got pamphlets and look at the pictures I took, I need a job.
Yep.
I mean, I just boil shit right down to the little Debbie.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So yeah, expound on that
so
a little bit more,
So
Charlie.
you
with
were getting right into the meat of where it goes, where the heart of the matter, where the money is, where you're spending money on the Google ads.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
And I
because
kind of lost my train of thought, but
because
it'll come back.
so let me see if I can't get us back on the track again. It's what we talked about in the 80s when pamphlets and paper stuff kind of was good. Today's world, nobody looks at the newspaper hardly or written material. It's all internet. It's all digital. So all of this marketing is all digital marketing. That's the only way that anybody's ever going to look.
Absolutely is. It absolutely is.
So the efficiency of dollars spent is what we're really looking at here. And the
yeah, so
government staying the hell out of it.
If we would take the $100,000 that Deb is trying to go to wherever she went and tried to turn these bills in and all this stuff, the debacle.
Oh yeah, the state tourist thing. Oh, look at me! I'm a
After-
little short and fat, squatty.
Well, yeah, if they just take that
No.
80,000, take $80,000, take $80,000 and put that right into digital marketing.
In my opinion,
That-
at least half of it should go to exactly that. Not, I mean, for example, you're in Houston, okay? How does the tourism board giving money to High Country Recycling, this is a couple of years back,
Oh, I know. It pissed me off.
cause you to travel to West Cliff?
Well, look how they're recycling, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go up there and throw 3 pop cans in.
Well, yeah.
I'm on my way.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
only,
spend.
that's
I'm
the
gonna
only
spend.
town in the whole universe that recycles, so I'm going to go there.
I'm gonna burn 200 gallons in fuel.
Or-
I'm gonna burn 200
Or
gallons
the,
in
or-
fuel.
Or the other one is, have you noticed that nearly all the nonprofits have these real nice trifold brochures?
Oh yeah.
They never
Administration
had, they never
costs.
had those before.
No.
I never had those before. So who did the graphics work? Who paid for that?
Who got the money for
Who
getting
did
to
pay
it?
for that?
Tourism
Expound.
board.
So explain.
Tourism board.
ex-
And in
exp-
a lot of cases printed. And so when we're talking about court,
So who's
cart-
who's getting the money to do that? Who actually is the receiver of the funds to do these?
Well, it's not so much who are receiving the funds is the creative person and the printer, and they're just doing their business. But there used to be someone in this town that had a business of doing that graphics work and that printing for the nonprofits. She doesn't have any business anymore because it's being done for the tourism board for free.
There again.
But so
I don't know.
And
I don't
so
know if in every case they're paying for printing and
So
the
that's-
graphics, but they all look the same. And
So
I've heard stories.
that would be my question. Are they actually doing it for free, or are they getting paid by the tourism board?
That's what I meant. By free, it's free to the nonprofits, but it's paid for in, I think, most cases, in many cases, if not all, by the tourism board.
I see. So the tourism board is actually taking our tax money, or I shouldn't say our tax money, but the lodging tax, and paying to advertise for the nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, exactly. So, Altitude Fitness, nice club, nice people. They have a nice trifold brochure. I know at least the graphics work was done by the tourism board. how I used to tell my guests, hey, you can go to the health club, but you have to fill out a form. We're not going to fill out a form. And it's a small health club. It's not as good as what I have in Houston, so I don't think I'll do that.
I'm not coming up to
hike.
I'm not coming up there to work out in
I'm gonna
your
hike the
building. I'm going to go out and hike in the mountains.
So how does that bring someone from Houston to Westcliff to have a fancy?
So here
brochure?
again, me being a Christian and believing in different things on how things work, wise planning, common sense, keeping abreast of the facts, and hard work. Those are the 4 staples of a successful endeavor. Okay, when you start getting stupid, we're going to get them. Come up here and look at our recycling. Come over here and look at our Club Marquee. No, that's not it. We got the mountains, we got the snow, we got the sunshine, we got the creeks, we got
Dark skies.
we got dark side.
Stars,
We got a lot
stars,
of different attributes that need to be pulled from instead of. So what is the motive behind some of these people's heart? Where if we can do this, are they just funneling money to printers? Are they funneling money to who?
No. The way I look at it this way.
And the whole thing is always follow the money.
Exactly. But are you familiar with the idea of rent seeking? It's kind of an economic term. And it's basically when you're government and you want people to play ball with you, you can give money to those that play ball with you and get in your ecosystem. So if you take care of all the nonprofits, then that's this user base, this political base. And if I run for county commissioner, all those people will love me because I've been paying, subsidizing their organization.
So there again, that's what really pisses me off. And you know that. I mean, when somebody uses their political position to fatten their own hand for political gain, that just pisses me off, boys.
That's how
you
I
three
see it.
amigos.
That's how I see it.
A little bit of George coming out in me. But that's what it is about.
And so when I got off track when we were talking about measuring results.
Yes, sir.
There's the
I'm sorry.
appearance, then there's the results. And so when I first started seeing that the paid social media ads were discontinued to be put into guest experience or visitor experience, whatever that might be, I started complaining to the tourism board, and they said, well, our revenues were up in 2023.
We could waste some money.
So pound sand. And now that we're on a downfall, what I've heard in the BOC is like, well, yeah, there are a lot of people internationally that won't travel here because of Trump.
Got to have an excuse of some kind.
So
Stroke me.
So I don't hold me accountable for our downward trend.
Oh, boy.
It's Trump's fault.
Oh, Donnie does it all. He's very influential.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on that UN meeting.
We get a lot of people from Japan here.
Oh yeah, I speak to Japan, man.
Yeah, I see them all the time.
Oh yeah, I got chopsticks. I'm ready to go.
I had one family from Korea. That's kind of the international experience.
Out of the thousands,
I've hosted at least 3,500 groups of people.
That's what I'm saying. So you have firsthand information on who's coming and who's going, what they're willing to spend, why they come here. So you are absolutely the person to go to for intel. You are the intel person on what makes this thing tick.
Yeah, and I have a very serious deficit. I use rational thought and economic theory to make decisions, when really the right way to do it
Is feelings.
is be feelings.
Feelings! Feelings! How do I feel?
With pretty
Yeah.
pictures.
Feelings! So practical reasoning through common logic is not part of the government's philosophy. They're all about okay, here's another revenue that's coming in. We need to figure out how we can use it and get more votes.
Yep, yep.
Then I just break it down in simple terms. We're going to use that to try to keep in power who we got in power and what we're doing.
Political rent seeking.
Political rent seeking. I would encourage the 3 commissioners, whether you're Bill Canada,
Billy Bob Biden, you mean?
Billy Bob Biden. I have zero respect. I'm done with you.
I love them all.
Well, I love them all, but I don't like any of them. Me as a Christian man, I'm commanded to love you, but I despise you. Okay? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Jesus knew Judas was what he was doing. Jesus knew what Judas was doing.
Yeah.
He said, "Go here, give me a little kiss up, and see you later." Bye.
And Judas probably had a good excuse in his mind.
Well, no, in his little
just
carnal mind, in his little bitty pea brain,
Yep.
he didn't understand eternity.
And that's part of it. And you know, I don't know Deb that well, and quite frankly, I really don't care to. But I don't, from my observation, I don't think that she's over here thinking, well, I'm going to try to undermine Jimmy or I'm going to try to undermine Bill Candace. She's just doing what she thinks is right.
Oh, absolutely. I do
And-
believe
and-
that.
Just because it's completely twisted from reality doesn't mean anything. But I mean, she's still in her.
She's totally convicted. She's fully persuaded in her mind.
Yeah, in her mind,
Not
she
like
thinks
I
she-
am.
But you can't hold her accountable for the drop in tourism because it's Trump's fault.
Anything that goes wrong in my life, anything that goes wrong in my life, is Donnie did it. You can't hold her accountable. You can't hold her accountable for having Trump syndrome.
That's funny.
I mean, for having Trump syndrome, there's no accountability for that. It's a mental illness. And the thing is, it's got to be recognized. If you don't have practical reasoning through common logic, if you don't have that in you, if you don't have the ability to throw yourself in neutral and to make a good decision based on economics and principle, there's some principle involved here.
Oh, but don't you know all truth is relative?
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, we have some far-ficked people that drank some college Kool-Aid that was poisoned, but they're fully persuaded with that foundational concept of
They actually think they're doing the right thing.
they're fully persuaded
Yeah, they
in their
are.
diminutedness. I mean, just like the person that killed Charlie Kirk, that person had to be fully persuaded in his mind that Charlie was the bad guy. And here Charlie was just a loving, kind, mature individual that had extreme knowledge and wisdom that was trying to get people to listen to the
truth.
Yeah, to get some logic going. Let's think about this logically. So that's what it comes down to. We're dealing with, and Steve, you said it last week and the week before, it's hard to deal with mental illness.
Well, and it is, and I mean they talk about 30% of the whole United States, the left-leaning, complete left-wing liberals. I mean, they're mentally ill, right? Because they can't concentrate on what you were talking about. It's fundamental economics, right? We're talking about the mathematics of how things work. That doesn't mean anything.
Let's
to
make a
them.
pamphlet. Let's do a pamphlet instead of doing word search.
Right. Well, and let me bring this. I'm going to tell you a little story. It'll take a couple minutes. But when I was on the West Cliff, I was a West Cliff trustee, and we were reviewing a strategic plan that had been put together the year before. And one of them was attract new businesses. And first of all, the only businesses that seemed like they were focusing on were brick and mortar businesses, But one of the ideas was, well, let's send thank you notes and gift baskets to the business people. And my thought was, why not reduce their taxes and regulations and get out of their way? So both the county and the towns are trying to attract businesses. But then what we do, they dive bomb with more taxes, more regulation. When I came into this county and I did some research on getting into the vacation rental business, I talked to the town. What do I need? Sales tax license. That's all. County. What do you need? Sales tax license. That's all. Then all of a sudden, like, oh my goodness, housing prices are going up. It's all your fault. Let's limit them.
Charlie Trump.
I kept saying, why not let the market decide? If there's too many, then they'll reduce
It corrects itself.
By the time that the government people comes up with a program, the problem will change.
Yeah, it's already resolved.
We're like right now with interest
yeah,
rates
'cause-
coming down.
Hell, when you look at the mathematics of it, okay, you got a $400,000 rental and you rent it for $200 a night. How many nights does it take to pay that off? And you think that's controlling property value? Get out of here with that. That has nothing to do with nothing.
No, then you talk about, well, do you think the Fed has anything to do with this? Interest rates? Do you think the money supply, the fiat money supply that's pumping
Trillions.
huge amount of inflation into everyone? Those are the real core problems that we're trying to address. And let's just say this
That's
passes.
big picture. We cannot bring big picture into peanut brains.
No, and then if you think about it, if you do have, let's say, in the ballot initiative, it says that $170,000 will be generated. Let's call it 180. That means 90 for subsidized health care and 90 for subsidized housing. That is like
A drop
nothing.
in the bucket.
How is that going to make any difference?
That makes, matter of fact, what it does is just takes more strength from the strong people and gives it to an administrative vehicle
Yeah.
to completely waste it.
And then
And that's what pisses me off.
And somewhere I read that between the towns and the county, they're trying to get someone to manage this affordable housing.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, let's say.
Well, there's a job. Maybe Deb's going to get that job
Yeah,
too.
so that's-
Hey,
that's-
Debbie, where are you?
yeah,
So
they-
let's say that's a $70,000 job. Well, that's the net impact by my calculations of this whole scheme is 70,000. So now we've got a housing czar. But guess what? That's only, you got to split that in half. So we won't even break even on having someone to manage a program that will fail because it's local government and not market principles.
Absolutely. So to me, we need to look at the private sector. We need to look at builders. We need to look at contractors. We need to look at people that know how to build houses, that understand that the people that service at the grocery store, service at the gas station, whatever the low income kind of jobs are.
So we talked about that last week. The only thing that really makes sense is for somebody to donate their time to try to get a tax break. That's the only way the private sector is.
I think that is the best idea I've ever heard.
It is, but at the end of the day, it still only works if you got enough money to donate that time, right? If you're just barely skimming by and you're just barely making it work, you don't have the resources to donate that.
That's why it's
And
got to be
that's-
done. That's why it's got to be done in fat times. When,
Well,
when
and
things are fat,
so-
we got to prepare
Well, and-
for
and
the
that-
lean times.
That's back to man. I mean, charity is great, but let's get back to reality. People can't afford it; they can't afford it. That's all
Right.
there is to it. And you can't
So-
bear down on somebody else and expect them to pay for somebody else's way.
You're right, but I do believe that there's some fat times where some of us have the lateral movement to go. Yeah, we can build some pole barns. It's not going to be fancy homes. That's going to accommodate them. They're not going to freeze to death. There's plenty of storage. If they need to leave, they can store their stuff. They can go. There's some common sense approaches here where you can give like beach concrete. We're going to need some of your concrete. Everything you donate is going to be a tax write-off 100%. Boom. framing contractor, interior
Well, and
cabinet. So I can structure this in a common sense way where it can happen.
So that right there, that I agree with you, but the problem with that is that you don't have the authority to give 100% tax deduction on that. You got to go to state, and the feds are not going to give you 100%. They're only going to give you whatever your tax bracket is. So you expect Seifert or Beach to donate a bunch of concrete. Well, they're only going to get 15, 20, 25% off of that. I mean, who's going to eat all this? Who's going to eat this, folks? And that's the whole thing.
So wait a minute,
we
Steve.
can't afford to eat
Steve,
it.
let's not look at it in too big of a picture. Let's look at it as a community in Custer County, and the Custer County tax that you pay.
Well,
Let's look at some incentives to get people to donate from the private sector
so
to orchestrate
how much does Seifert's pay? They don't pay any county tax. They don't pay sales tax. They don't pay none of that. They pay income tax to the federal government for selling you concrete.
So we need to structure it where there's an incentive that helps them.
Probably sales tax on the concrete.
Call
isn't it?
Trump or not? There is
Sure
a
they do.
sales tax.
Yeah.
on it.
All kinds of
there'd be
sales tax.
I'm sure they pay sales tax.
Massive amount of sales tax.
I mean, that's fun.
Massive contributor to this community. Massive. So anyways, looking at the brass tacks of it, I don't want to get into that. All I'm just saying on the surface of it, the private sector needs to be incentivized. 1913, we didn't have taxes, and we had all the roads, and we had everything we needed. Because why?
So when you build a house for someone, you don't pay sales tax. I'm not a builder. I've never seen that. Do you pay sales tax?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
You're paying,
God.
You're paying sales tax.
To who?
To everything you're
So-
spending
so-
money
so-
on.
so
You
if
have to
you- if-
prepay it,
Even-
and then they rebate it back to you.
You do, not the supplier,
No.
not the builder. The builder don't pay the sales tax
No.
to the county. It's the
No.
the buyer of the goods, right?
No.
They're the
no.
collectors.
No, the general contractor, well, all those materials, as they come in, they're paying sales tax, even stuff that's shipped in.
They're collectors. They're collectors of sale taxes. That's what they
Yeah,
do.
this-
The grocery
the last
store is a
few-
collector.
the last-
Everywhere you go that you pay tax, they're tax collectors.
Right. So when you buy a piece of wood from Ace Hardware, they collect a tax from
Right.
you, but you don't go around and collect sales tax from the homeowner.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Well,
it's embedded into the cost.
wait a minute.
You guys are saying the same things
They end up paying it.
in the sales price
I
of the
know
house.
they do, but we're talking about donating the stuff. So if Ace Hardware is going to donate the lumber, then where does the sales tax come from? There ain't none. There's no sales tax on a donation.
Right.
So if you do a donation, and that's where this had to be set up for a tax donation, a 501c3, when they donate that, boom, it's recognized all the way from the feds to the state to the county. A 501c3 tax donation. There's a way it can be structured. It's not a oh no, we can't do it. Bullshit, we can do it.
But I can guarantee you that Eric Seifert's not going to frick around with a 501c3. He's going to charge you for every yard of concrete you buy. So what they're in the business of making money. That's what they do. They don't care if somebody can't afford it. It's not my business. I don't care if you can't afford it.
So here again, they're either going to pay the feds on the income that they've made, or they can take a tax write-off
The problem
that was
is-
donated. Wait, Stephen.
I think you guys need to sell this outside.
Well, no, Stephen. What I'm saying is they can have a tax write-off that lowers their overhead, which lowers it.
A little bit, but your tax man's only going to give you 15, 20, 25% write-off depending on which tax bracket you're in. You're not going to get 100% write-off. So for them boys to donate a yard of concrete, they're going to maybe get 15, 20% write-off, and they have to eat their other 80%. So that's what I'm saying.
So wait a minute.
Who in this world, right, is going to donate low-income housing to a bunch of immigrants? I don't know anybody.
I'm not saying immigrants. I'm not even saying that even a little bit. The way I see it being structured, okay, is in a whole different fashion, and that's a whole nother podcast. But at the end of the day, there are tax benefits for large companies to donate to a nonprofit. Period. End
Well,
of
yeah,
discussion.
So if you're going to set up a nonprofit to run all that, then that's what you got.
You know where the 501c3 came from? The mafia.
Yeah, so
Company A and Company B. It's
that's-
the way they got away around the government.
that tells you how legit it is.
It is legit. Oh no, it's 100% legit now.
All right, let me tell you a story. Young couple invested a good sum of money, not $1 million, but close to it, into this community. And then the rules change. Earlier I was telling about what I was saying, and there were a lot of rules came in that were basically
Afterwards.
overhead and
Sure.
additional $1,000 here.
The
additional
government
there.
could figure out how to tap into your kitty.
And now they're bare because they're paying current market rates on this property.
Yep.
And it's a very important property, I think, in downtown Westcliff.
Mm-hmm.
And now a 4% price increase, and they're right on the edge of being break even. 4% price increase. If they end up as a result of that, the demand goes down. What are they going? Two things they can do: lower their daily prices, or start doing more of the work themselves. So let's say it's a combination. We're going to drop our daily price by 3%, and we're going to do more of the cleanings ourselves, and then
Lay off people, not employ
the cleaning
people.
person gets fewer hours. So the exact people that this
Was
scheme
supposed to help.
that purportedly is to support.
That's how
is gonna
asinine
lose
it is.
Hours, they're going to lose jobs, and it'll be a downward pressure.
Yeah.
That could create a downward spiral.
Yeah. So what starts off and it sounds and looks good was not well thought out.
That's
The
what
consequences were never thought out.
That's what I'm saying about the whole thing about low-income housing. There's nothing about that looks good because it just ain't good. They can't afford it. They can't afford it. They can't afford it. Nobody can afford it. We can't afford to give it to somebody. They can't afford to be here. That's
Well,
just the
and
fact of the matter.
That's what I'm saying. You go get your own groceries. You go to the restaurant and you wait on yourself. That's what I'm saying.
And there's another
Make it happen.
There's
Get her done.
But there's another element to this because it's kind of like trying to get enough velocity to get a spacecraft in orbit. It's really difficult when you're in this lower
Gravity.
echelon
When you get
because-
the higher gravity,
right,
you bet.
because most people have some type of subsidy that's government oriented. Let's just say
It's already
all right,
propped
I
up.
got into this house. All right, but it's my rent is set at 30% of my income. Now, you're working for me. I want you to work 40 hours, not 25.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't do that.
Oh, that's not going to happen. Are
Oh,
you?
my rent will go up.
Holy moly!
So it's like,
What a
oh,
bullshit!
wait a minute. But if you never put in the extra hours, I remember when I was in
You
my
could
20s,
never
I
excel.
was working overtime anytime I could. And then because it takes a while, but now it's like, oh, and sometimes I would get an employee that would say, well, can't take any more hours. It's July. It's July. Yeah, but if I make any more money this quarter, I'm going to lose this program for my kids. So I can't work any more hours unless you want to give me cash. So what we're doing is they talk about the poverty plantation. Keep here, and
And another caveat to that, I mean, you're completely right, but another caveat to that, what makes America what it is because just because you can't do it don't mean I can or can't, right? And so you can't afford the housing, but I can because I know how to conserve my money better, and I know how to do things better, and I can do it cheaper, so I can work at the grocery store and I can still maintain a house up here and I can still live here. And I'm doing it because I can do it. Just because you can't don't mean I can't. And that's what makes America great. And here we are. It's socialism, right? Oh, hell, we'll help you get a house even though you can't afford it, and we'll give you this, and we'll give you that. What about the people that are making it happen?
to say nothing.
And there again, now that's where the tread hits the pavement. And I know a lot of these people intimately. And I know, Charlie, and you're saying, well, I can only work so many hours because I'm being funded by some free money from taxpayers already. And if I overdo it, that gets cut. And then I really got to go to work and I really got to have. So the problem is already created, Devo.
But part of it, but not all of it.
Not
Not
all of it.
everybody's got their handout from the government.
Hell no.
Hell no. You know
Hell
better
no.
than that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that ain't
Well,
taking
and
no
I
handout
try to
from the
tell
government.
people, I said, when you come up here to Custer County, the two things you get here is a dull knife and a hard piece of wood. And they tell you, you carve out your own life.
Oh, look.
You carve out your own life here, buddy boy.
Where'd bootlegging come from?
Well, there you go.
There's a reason why people do illegal activities, because that's what it took to make ends meet.
Yeah. So you gotta be outside the law.
You kind of do, right? I mean, and that's the ornery part about what you talked about earlier when you said, well, instead of giving them a thank you card in a gift basket, why don't you lower taxes and regulations?
Yep.
That's the whole thing, right? I mean,
Let freedom reign.
yeah, they're not helping us at all. They're not helping us get where we want to be. They're keeping us down pressed. That's the fact. When we all know that.
And that really is the, I guess you'd call the caveat or the heart of the matter, however you want to call it. We're part socialist and then we're part not. And being that in that purgatory is the worst.
It's because you got feelings. Right, with with feelings, there is none of that, right? If you don't have feelings of compassion and all of that stuff, then you don't worry if somebody can't afford it. They can't afford it. Well, that's nobody's fault but your own. Get a better job, get a better skill set, marry a better wife, marry a better husband, go get a better
pot because it's expensive.
all these above, right? I mean, if them are all choices that we all make, right? If you're not making enough money, that's nobody's fault but your own.
Yeah. No, that's a hardness of reality. For an individual to face that and not take a gift, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, we've all needed a hand here and there. We all need to work together and try to help each other.
We still do.
Absolutely. But it's in the giving. You're giving and receiving. To get something for free is how they've contaminated the black community. They said, look,
You can't do it.
you're not competent enough.
You have to have in it.
You have to have the government help you. And that is the most devilish thing that's ever happened in this country, is to tell a black man, you're not worthy. You're just not worthy.
You can't do this.
You can't do it.
You can't do
You need me to help
no-
you, and if you vote for me, I will keep it
And
coming.
there's no way that minorities can get an ID.
Yeah, there's no way you can get an
Oh,
ID.
but you can get a free cell phone.
I'm just saying, of course they can get an ID. They're perfectly competent.
Here again, that social conditioning. You've been socially conditioned. I've been socially conditioned. Steve has been socially conditioned to be whoever we are. We've came to the logical conclusion to combat so that we can win. Just like a trout swimming upstream. Not all of them make it. All the bucks out in nature, they don't all get to spawn. You know what I'm saying? That's the law of the jungle. You have to increase your odds as an individual.
That's why the low-income housing doesn't really make much sense up here. I mean,
It weakens it.
it does
Makes
weaken it.
sense for the housing czar. He has a job. Just teasing. Sorry. Anyway.
Well, no, and then we got to stay lighthearted about it because
Well, and I mean,
that's how
you know,
nonsensical
when you
it
talk
really
about
is.
low-income housing, look at the Hess mess and all of them apartments, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that live in them apartments, and then people rely on that, and I'm sure that the landlord is happy to get that money coming in.
Well, I'm sure there's some Section 8, there's some governmental assistance for all of that. Okay.
Probably, maybe some, but not all, right? I mean, that part I'm not going to look at. I'm just saying, The man has taken the money and he's built a low income facility so that
Affordable.
just like Taylor.
It's
Just like Taylor.
absolutely.
Taylor has low rent at his facility, and he
Right.
doesn't have that big a facility, right? I mean, there's maybe five, I don't know how many apartments he's got, 4 to 6 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he does.
And Grammys? Yeah.
Yeah, he does the best he can to make that part affordable. But at the end of the day, there's only so much of it, and it's just the way it is. It's at the end of the day, man, it's dog eat dog and it's fittest of the fittest. It's nobody's fault that you managed to get the rent there and everybody else wants it, but they can't get it because you're in there. That's just luck of the draw. That's just like the lottery. Shit, man, you got lucky. It happens to the best of us and happens to the worst of us, and it's still happening to us right now.
So getting back to the tourism tax, I think let's not create more government. Let's not pay more money.
So let's basically tell everybody vote no on that tourism tax. I mean, who wants to vote for more tax? That's just a bad plan all the way around.
And that's basically what it comes right down to. But let's think about what is involved here. What is the why behind it? What is, because there's more issues coming.
There's more issues coming.
It's a gateway.
Wishful
It's a wishful bunch of crap where we're going to take from you guys that are creators and we're going to give it to the non-creators. We're going to play God.
Producers.
And we're going to take the law of the jungle out of the equation. The law of the jungle, I've lived by that my whole life. People go, what do you mean the law of the jungle? I'm just saying that's a natural law that is part of our existence that keeps us strong.
You don't know what the law of the jungle is. Go walk around outside out in the bushes away from the fire, dark at night, and see what happens. You don't know what the law of the jungle is. Get your ass ate. That's what happens. And all our ancestors knew that, right? They knew better than to go away from the fire and get out after dark, right? It's just
The ones that survived did.
fittest of the fittest, right?
So there again,
the dumb ones don't get to breed, right?
Right, and that's kind of where we're at. We're in a society where teachers that are teaching have never been out of school. Teachers that have been teaching have never been out of school. Hello, can you hear me?
Not all of them.
Not all, don't get me wrong. There's a few people that had good parents, strong parents, and life lessons that created some salt in them. And salt is just a preservative. When I say salt, that just means something that preserves, that gives stability. And we're to the point where a lot of teachers are only being taught what they've been taught. They don't even know if it's proven. That Common Core shit that went on through here, that swept the nation, those teachers need to be held accountable for that, because they were pushing that garbage.
Well,
And that is the poison that is in the people now.
That's why Trump is telling the UN that we don't want that no more, and that's what we need.
And I'm also just one on this. It always sounds good to take care of the children, right? That's been the excuse for a lot of well-intended but misguided spending.
I mean, when you go to ACE, save the children, donate.
But I'm also very suspicious about the core of that, what is being taught. And when you take it out of the family and you give it to some government-run organization, I'll ask you guys, what can go wrong?
Oh, pedophilia.
Well, not
Just saying.
there's a
I wasn't even thinking there.
no.
But that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, you're trying to gain a bunch of money, Red Cross, whole 9 yards, all these big corporations, all they're doing is child trafficking and sex trafficking and all of this stuff, man. That's where a lot of that money is going that you think is going to save these little kids. It ain't going there at all.
Well, here again, the law is for the lawless. In some of this donation stuff and the people that are in a position where they're drawing a lot of money, a lot of it's just for administration. It's just to create jobs, to administrate something, and only 1 or 2% of the money that you actually give actually ends up having a result in somebody's life.
Yeah, and the bad part is the administrators are all the pedos. That's the bad part.
Well, and there again, they got insider information.
Don't say all. Broad brush. Broad brush. So,
It's an ornery situation. We all know that, folks. Hopefully we brought enough points here that you can kind of get a gamut of all of the stuff that could be involved with this. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always going to say that I'm always going to say don't vote to raise taxes, because if you do that, ultimately you give them an inch and they take a mile. That's
give it over control.
Well, that's
our friend Brian Clance likes to talk about
Yes.
how he goes, yeah, I went to the county commissioners with pushing this original lodging tax. They will never be more than 2%. It will all be used for advertising and marketing to get people in. Now, 13 years later, child care, affordable housing, infrastructure.
God only knows where it's going
And
to
he's
go.
like, I'm working my tail off to break even, and now higher taxes. It just.
So here again,
The government lied. Can you believe that?
So here again,
Mistruth.
and here again, we have a preconception of the government that the government is the government.
That's where the smart people.
We are the government.
No, we're the slaves.
I'm not.
Well,
then we're going to blame it on you.
we're being treated.
So I'm the one that got out. I'm just going to tell you, I'm a free one. I'm free, and I'm going to loose the rest of you. I'm going to loose the rest of you. All of them. I'm going to unlock the door for the rest
we're all
of you.
slaves.
So if you submit to a mentality of we're just, and that's what one of the commissioners said, we're all just slaves, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, you don't know me. You really don't know me, because I'm not a slave. Okay, I know I'm in the system a little
You're very
bit,
high on the self-sovereign.
but I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
right now, I can take off with just a stick, and I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. And because I have that independence, and I do have that, and I'm not gonna succumb to a lesser man governing me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not gonna have any part of that. That's why I'm such an asshole. That's why this podcast is where we're at. Because I ain't taking it. I'm sitting here bearing it. This is my First Amendment, and I'm wearing the shit out of my First Amendment. The Second Amendment, our first or second or third podcast to show you what that's about. It's about shifting into second gear and saying enough's enough. And if they don't repent and self-correct, if they don't get back in the republic frame of mind, where we the people are in charge and they're our servants, they're going to have a problem. If they're up there just playing games with Mr. Polis, and they're selling us out, and they keep orchestrating all this dogma, there's going to be a real problem. And there's a cool thing about it. It's called local politics. There ain't one door to these commissioners that I know where every one of them live. I can have a little come to Jesus meeting and say, look, your oppression has got on me enough where I need to take you to the sheriff, and we're going to have a little come to Jesus meeting.
The more we can localize control, the better.
And that's where it all starts. That's why the sheriff is such a strong political person in our community. That sheriff is all powerful. When it comes down to it, when we're exercising our First, Second Amendment, he is the man. He's the one. Well, what part of that didn't you get? He told you for about 5 years. He's been telling you for 5 years, get off him.
Let's just hope Rich runs again.
Yeah.
So hopefully you will. But so with that being said, we're getting close to time. I know, Charlie, that you're taking some time out of your evening to spend that with us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we robbed you from your family. Sarah, thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart for letting us have him.
And I'm sure that hot skillet on the oven is just fine.
You mean the one that's on
The
fire?
one that I left when I came in. For 5 minutes.
Oh, Well, that's good.
I haven't heard any fire alarms.
I haven't heard the trucks go by either.
Charlie, that's not good.
She knows to follow behind me. Check the stove.
Yeah. Well, you got a good one. Yeah, you got a sweetheart. So, yeah.
So yeah, with that being said, Charlie, we appreciate your expertise this evening, and we'll look forward to seeing what happens here, and we'll hope for the best, and wish you all a good evening. And
No on 1A,
no on 1A, folks. You heard it from the
Custer County.
man that has the experience here. You know, Charlie's got a lot. What do you say? He's already housed 3,500 different families or different groups of people. So I'm thinking that's probably a little bit more than Deb Adams will ever even can count to. So anyhow, with that,
Quit picking on me, girl.
So there's that other, what's the name of that timber?
I'm glad that you went ahead and confessed.
What's that other podcast that I was telling you is doing a great big expose? Is it Timber?
Big Timber is
Big
what you
Timber,
said.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So
I've seen that.
so big timber, folks. If you want to look at another podcast where a guy's doing a deep dive in the state of Colorado, he's wanting to move here.
Let's get him.
Very
I'll put him up
absolutely.
for the first month.
There, yeah. Did you hear that, Big Timber? Anyways, another patriot that's fighting for freedom, for individualism, as opposed to more government and more suppression. So.
Yep. All I can say is dig that up within yourself, folks. You can't expect everybody else to do it for you.
No. You got to be some part of the arrow. You don't need to be the tip, and you don't need to be the feather, or you could be either. But be somewhere in between the tip and the end of the feather. Be some part of the arrow. Be some part of the arrow. Work your way into that, whether it's a comment, a letter to your representatives, to your commissioners, or
Your own mindset.
your school board.
Your own mindset. Get it square within your own mind. Come to Jesus with yourself, folks. That's what we're talking about here. I mean, of course, we're talking about making it, calling your representatives, calling your commissioners, all of that. But number one, first things first is within your own mind. Free your mind and
the rest will follow.
Yeah, free your mind and your ass will follow. Right?
Yeah, free your mind and the rest will follow. But yeah,
So, with that being said, we wish you all a good evening, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.
Adios.